Reading. We have nothing on second reading. We have ordinance on first reading. One, an ordinance to petition and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, authorize establishment of government energy aggregation program that phases in 100% preferably regionally sourced renewables by 2035. Two, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10-20, Handicap Portions, Section 10-20-010, Schedule 39, Parking Zones for Handicapped Persons, delete 298 Howard Street. Three, an ordinance to supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 2, Administration and Personnel, with reference to consolidation of the Department of Public Works and Department of Engineering. Then we have resolutions. One, approve agenda amendments. Two, approve payroll. Three, authorize refund for redeemed tax sale. Four, approve amendment of resolution R-121705. Reason, authorize the execution of fifth addendum to the power purchase agreement with NBS Energy Partners, LLC, for solar panels. Five, approve request for use of city property requested by Embrace Kids Foundation. Location, Jubilee Park, pavilion and grassy area for kids, activities, food, fun, patients, and families. Date Sunday, September 23rd, 2018. Time 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. 6. Approve request for use of city property requested by a Women's Worth Organization. Location, Youth Sports Complex Field, Upper Field for third annual back-to-school obstacle course for the children of the city of New Brunswick area. Date Saturday, September 8th, 2018. 7. Approve request for use of city property requested by the Damon House. Location, Joyce Kemper Park and basketball court for basketball event with the community and education regarding opioid addiction. Date Saturday, August 18, 2018. Time 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. 8. Hold as unnecessary to request the city clerk. 9. Approve renewal of liquor license with special ruling for George Baruch inactive liquor license number 12-14-33 026010 2017 to 2018. 8. 10. Authorized purchase by Youth Services System under the New Jersey approved co-op number 65 MC SCCPS, the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey pricing system from CDW Government Incorporated for 36 computer tablets, not to exceed $3,123.72. 11. Approved purchase by Police Department under state contract A-89851M-003 software license and related services with SHI International for software licenses not to exceed $5,005.80. 12. Approve award of contract for work uniforms for the Police Department Municipal Court with Atlantic Tactical Incorporation not to exceed $35,000. Some Uniforms Incorporated not to exceed $7,403. Term, 12-month period commencing August 2nd, 2018, ending August 1st, 2019. Specification number 68118P. 13. Approve award of contract with Wireless Electronics Incorporated doing business with wireless communications and electronics for radio maintenance for the fire department. 12-month period commencing August 6, 2018 and ending August 5th, 2019, which can be extended on a yearly basis of up to 2 additional years. Specification number 689-18P, not to exceed $8,000. 14. Approve award of contract with DGL Rapopolos Incorporated doing business as Mako Collision Repair with auto painting for auto body repairs for the police department. Term 12-month period commencing August 6, 2018 and ending August 5th, 2019. Specification number 68718P, not to exceed $35,000. 15. Authorized purchase by the Department of Public Works under New Jersey State approved co-op. That's number 665 MCS-CCPS from Campbell Freightliner LLC for 1 truck, not to exceed $94,958. X16, authorized purchase by the Department of Public Works under New Jersey State approved co-op number 65 MCS-CCPS for educational services permission of New Jersey pricing system from Trias Incorporated for 1 dump body, not to exceed $77,220.63. 17. Release of on-site performance bond in the amount of $185,046 and balance site inspection fees of $507.91 to Francis Parker Memorial Home Incorporated, 501 Eastern Avenue, block number 437, lot number 8. 18. Release of site performance bond in the amount of $3,336, balance of site inspection fees of $117. to David Beckus, 278 Comstock Street, block number 220, lot number 3319, approved off-premise raffle at the Elks Lodge for 40 Livingston Avenue.
President?
Yes.
For the attorney, is that votable thing for two of us?
How many members do we have here?
Two. Two.
So, two abstaining?
Okay, carry.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's carry that one.
I'll let you use one first. We have three.
Oh, you have three? We're going to adopt the necessity of the plot. We'll address that when we get to the agenda session when it comes up.
All right. 20, approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance requested by Sutter Crane Rentals. Reason to place a crane on Rutgers property at the Cook Campus Biolab to make 2 rooftop lifts. Date Saturday, July 21st, 2018. Time 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. None pro tem. 21, approve amendment of resolution R-061821. Change order number 6 with Allstate Power Vac Incorporated for 2015 sanitary sewer system improvements project. Phase 2B. Specification number 89515B. Amount of $5,307.81. Approval of this change order will not constitute an increase of 20% or more of the original contract. 22, release of site performance bond in the amount of $11,413.80 of the balance site inspection fees of $342.50 to Peter and Allison TBDOV, 146 Hamilton Street, block number 50, lot number 12. 23, approve amendment of resolution R-041855, supplemental services number 3 with Remington, Vernon, and Vena Engineers for licensed site remediation professional for the site of environmental services, amount of $6,500. Approval of this supplemental service will constitute an increase of 20% or more of the original contract. 24, approve order contract with Enterprise Automation Incorporated for maintenance, repairs, and supervisor control and data acquisition SCADA system for the water utility term 24 month commencing August 2nd, 2018, ending August 1st, 2020. Rebid specification number 682, 18 RFP, not to exceed $125,000. Fair and open. 25, approval of the resolution R-101649, reason to pay the invoices and authorize additional work with John Garcia Construction Incorporated for water main valve for exercising the program for water utility. Specification number 53216W, not to exceed $75,000. Approval of this amendment will constitute an increase of 20% or more of the original contract. 26, set a date for public hearing on proposed initiative ordinance August 15, 2018. 27, authorized shared services agreement with the city of New Brunswick, the county of Middlesex. 2018, operation of 2 shuttle buses, not to exceed $131,760. Then we have items for discussion by council, certification of the municipal clerk with 1 initiative petition. And we have public discussion and so on and so forth. Clerk, please do us a favor. Take the roll.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Egan is absent. Councilmember Escobar.
Here.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig. Here. Council President Fleming.
Here. All right. So we didn't come to order, we already got that. Okay, please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied in the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings, and municipal council of the city of New Brunswick has been filed with the municipal clerk and has been placed on the appropriate bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper of the city of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Can you please rise for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence that those that give their life in the defense of freedom and those that continue to make the sacrifices around the world. Thank you. All right. Minutes? We have minutes? We have a motion.
Motion to approve it. Second.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Fleming.
Yes. Now we have correspondence by the city clerk. Are there any correspondence?
Yes. Item number 1, a letter from College Crossings LLC to request a final inspection to release the site performance guarantee for the Boylan Funeral Home parking improvements. Item number 2, a letter from Mazaka and Kwasnick LLC to release bonds in regards to Fulton Square Condominium Association, Inc. Item number 3, a letter from NJDOT in regards to the fiscal year 2019 state aid programs. Item number 4, a letter from Susan Kruzianki, 91 Management Inc., to schedule final inspection and return of performance bond for 93 Richardson Street. Item number 5, a letter from the Federal Communications Commission in regards to Section 106 filings. Item number 6, a letter from Verizon in regards to the water tower lease agreement. Item number 7, a letter from the NJDEP in regards to a review of the annual vapor intrusion monitoring report. Item number 8, a letter from ATC Group Services LLC to solicit inputs concerning a personal communication system equipment installation. Item number 9, a letter from RTP Environmental Associates, Inc., in regards to the site remediation for 38 to 40 Jersey Avenue. Item number 10, a letter from the NJDOT in regards to New Brunswick Infrastructure Grants Project. The correspondence will be forwarded to the appropriate departments.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right, now we have no public hearings. Can we take this time down for the certification?
Yes, I would ask Council President, members of council, that you allow Mr. Teresi to provide a certification index as H1 relative to the initiative petition.
As the duly appointed city clerk of the city of New Brunswick, I am making this certification as required in connection with the petition filed in my office on July 2nd, 2018, seeking the adoption of a proposed initiative ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of New Brunswick, New Jersey, authorizing the establishment of a governmental energy aggregation program that bases in 100%, preferably regionally sourced renewables by 2035. I have completed my review of the petition filed and hereby find that the petition is sufficient. Attached to the certification is a copy of the proposed initiative ordinance. By way of the certification, the proposed initiative ordinance will be presented to the governing body of the city of New Brunswick on August 1st and shall be deemed to have had its first reading, and provision shall be made for a public hearing as required." That's the certification.
Thank you.
Mr. Council President, members of council, with respect therefore, with F1, clerk certification actually deems this particular ordinance on first reading, so council does not make motions to introduce it. You will note on your consent agenda, you have a resolution authorizing that it be published and set down for public hearing at the 15th of August meeting, which is item number 26. So that will be handled on consent agenda. So you could move right to F2. F2 on your ordinances on second, first reading.
Oh, right there. Okay. So ordinance. Okay, so we have ordinances on first reading.
Correct.
In order to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10-20, Handicap Parking, for Section 10-20, Schedule 39, Parking Zones for Handicapped Persons, Elite 298 Howard Street.
Move the ordinance setting down August 15th at 5:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar,
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Fleming.
Yes. Then we have 3, an ordinance to amend and supplement revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 2, Administration and Personnel, references consolidation of the Department of Public Works and Department of Engineering.
Move the ordinance setting down August 15th at 5:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar,
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Fleming.
Yes. Now we have resolutions 1 through 27.
Mr. Council President, with respect to 19, the Elks one, I'm going to ask council to hold that. We have until the 8th of December. I know that. But
Anybody from the public on the resolution? Seeing none?
Motion to approve. Second.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Fleming.
Yes. Now we have the public portion of the meeting. If anybody wants to speak, please step forward. Please give your name and address for the record. A reminder that you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, members of the council. Charles Crabville, New Brunswick today. Did I miss the vote on the resolutions? Okay. I would like to hear a little bit about the final one, 827. Can you tell me about this shared services agreement? Does it represent any changes in the service of these buses?
I think Wayne can speak to that.
It's the same service, maintaining the same route, same hours, 5 days a week, and we had discussed that Rutgers might be getting involved with this year, but the county has decided to keep managing the route for this year. They may look at trying to involve Rutgers next year.
Okay, so it's a continuation of the existing route. Thank you. Mr. President, you're still the liaison to the New Brunswick Board of Education, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I have an article I want to share. I have copies for all of the council members. And basically, this is an article about Governor Murphy signed a law revising the formula for distributing school funding. And New Brunswick schools will see an increase of $6.3 million under this legislation. And I think that is terrific news. And I wanted to ask if you could tell me, if you know, what the Board of Education plans to use this additional funding for.
No, they haven't discussed it yet. I haven't discussed it with them yet. But there's going to be more funding actually coming down the road also because, like I said previously, because the elimination of parks is coming up also. It will be phased out over the years.
Right, so I want to reiterate a suggestion that's been brought up by a member of our community here. Ms. Moore has been advocating for the crossing guards and the important work they do. I know a few years ago you gave them all a raise, and I think that in light of a new school opening up, the Robeson School, and the need to hire more crossing guards, I think another raise would be in order. And seeing as how the Board of Education now has an additional $6.3 million, I think that some of that funding could support this important use of the funds. So I did the math. At the last meeting, the Vice President ran the meeting, and he said he would like to see the crossing guards get the $15 per hour. Currently, the minimum for them is $12.50 an hour. And he said it depends on the numbers. And so I did the math. I have here, this is actually a list of all the posts for the crossing guards. It's 2 pages, like the other one. And so I have enough for you guys there. And so these are all the posts. And I do want to state that there are currently, according to this document, which I just received today, thanks to the city clerk for that, there are 3 openings, 3 posts that are not staffed. And I believe there's only one that exists in the vicinity of this school that I believe is still set to open in September. So I'd imagine there will be more openings once that school opens. But currently there's 46 positions, including the 3 that are vacant. And, let's just say, for the sake of it, there might be, 4 extras, so we'll bring it to an even 50 starting in September. It was said at the last meeting that the crossing guards work approximately 15 hours a week, and if they work all 52 weeks of the year, and every single one of them got a raise of $2.50 an hour, it would cost $97,500. So certainly a small fraction of that additional $6.3 million that the Board of Education has gotten. I know that they already approved a budget, the voters approved the budget in April, and now there's an extra $6.3 million. I hope that you will encourage the Board of Education to provide $97,500 so that the city can pay the crossing guards more. Of course, this has been going on for a while where the Board of Ed reimburses the city for the cost of that service. Would you be willing to join me at the next Board of Education meeting and ask for that to happen?
I'll take a look at it. I'm gonna take a look at the numbers just like anything else, and I can't make any promises. I'm gonna join you at the meeting.
Okay. Well, I hope that the council members who support giving our crossing guards a raise will do whatever you can in your power to make that happen. You don't have to necessarily come to the meeting. I know you know the board members and you can talk to them outside of that setting, but I think that would be a good and important thing to do before the school year starts. I also wanted to follow up on the vacant properties ordinance. Has the list been published yet?
It will be momentarily, I think, published. It's very much almost ready to go. Maybe as soon as the end of the week, Mr. Crowder.
Maybe this week. Okay, I just wanted to follow up.
Very much happening.
Okay, and I did, want to thank the city clerk for his service again. I know that he went through that whole petition and certified that it's approved. Can I just hear from each member of the council whether you plan on voting in support of it at the August 15th meeting when the public hearing is held?
Yes.
Technically, first reading, yes.
We'll discuss it at the next meeting.
Okay. So would any of the council members like to enlighten us as to whether you plan to vote yes or no, or what your thought process is?
I'm not gonna, tell you whether yes or no, but if you recall at the last meeting, we said that even the mayor and the city, we are supporting renewable energy, and this will be a way of doing it. So that's without telling you yes or no. Like before we told you, I think it was Kevin that we are supporting, even without the petition, that we're supporting this ordinance. So.
Right, well, I think the best way to support would be with a yes vote on this, and I hope that the council gives it the seal of approval so that it can move forward as quickly as possible.
I think I was the one who said that, regardless of whether the petition went through, that we were going to basically go forward with an ordinance anyway. So I think you can read into that a little bit.
Well,
You never know until the last minute, something changes.
Well, what I read into that is that there's
You already read
already.
into my $15 an hour thing, so
Well, I just quoted you exactly what you said, but I think that
was it exactly?
exactly. I watched the video just minutes ago. Yeah. But as far as passing an ordinance, that's different than passing the ordinance that has been put before you. So I just want to understand. When you say you support it, you're saying you support the concept of renewable energy and not necessarily this ordinance. So you may vote no on the.
May vote yes, may vote no, 2 weeks ahead. I never know what's going to happen down the road.
Okay, well, I will encourage people to reach out and encourage you to vote yes, because it's the right thing to do. But if there's any other insight you can share with us as to what your thoughts or concerns are, I would want to know that. But that's it. The only other thing I just wanted to ask: why is the administration combining those two departments, the Department of Public Works and the Department of Engineering? What's the logic behind that?
Would you like me
We'll
to
discuss it.
answer the
We'll
question?
discuss it at the, if it's on the first reading, we'll discuss it at the next meeting. So we'll have everything together.
So to be clear, you don't want the business administrator to enlighten us as to why this
No, but it's
administration.
being consistent with, not discussing stuff on the first reading, but you're already aware of that.
Right, but there's no basis for it, and I'm here asking a simple question about what the logic is for an ordinance that you voted for tonight, whether it's first reading or second reading, and I think the public deserves to know why the administration wants to combine two departments. It's a simple question. Can we just hear, please, can we hear from the business
And they
administrator?
will. And your 5 minutes is up. Thank you.
So to be clear, you're not going to let the business administrator tell us
To be clear.
why the mayor wants to combine
To be
these two
clear, we're not
departments.
gonna
You're
discuss
telling us
it
we have to
first
come
meeting.
back to another meeting to find out the answer to that simple question. That's what you're saying,
That's
right?
exactly what I said.
Okay.
Anybody else from the public?
Good afternoon. My name is Deandra Cameron. I'm an intern at Food and Water Watch at 100 Bayard Street, and I'm also a recent graduate of Rutgers University, majoring in public health. I've spent some of the best days of my summer knocking on doors of the New Brunswick residents, talking to the elderly, middle-aged, and even recent grads like myself. They all call New Brunswick their home, as do I. Like some of them, or their family members, I was not born in the United States, but in the island nation of Jamaica. Like many of the residents I spoke with, they too came from an island like Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic. We may not speak the same language, but both of our people share concern, being at the mercy of climate change. Years of drought in our countries have hardened the soils, and recent unprecedented rainfalls leaves no porous soil left to capture rainfalls, leading to mudslides and flooding. Jamaica struggles still with drought conditions that last longer with each following year. Our Caribbean neighbors to the east have faced deadly weathers, events like Hurricane Maria, with some estimates of death tolls close to 5,000. I may not be a part of the Puerto Rican or Dominican community of New Brunswick, but I certainly empathize with their large loss of life. Why is this important? Scientific consensus tells us that our dependence on dirty fossil fuels, like coal, oil, and gas, has brought us to this point, has fueled stronger storms, wildfires, drought, and affected our food systems. I know, as the 669 residents who have signed the 100% renewable energy by 2035 ordinance do, that my generation and yours must do everything in our power to transition completely away from fossil fuels. I hope that the council here will vote to adopt the ordinance that more than 10% of the New Brunswick voters have presented to the council for adoption at your August 15th meeting. The 28 island nations and millions that live in the Caribbean, New Jersey residents, and other coastal states, and my generation, and those that follow depend on the bold, progressive action of our leaders, of you, both locally and nationally. It depends on the actions that you take today. So thank you for your time, and I hope that your support means a yes. And I'll be here next time to speak. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public?
Good evening, council members and council president. My name is Junior Romero with Food and Water Watch at 100 Bayard Street here in New Brunswick. We're a progressive statewide environmental group based in New Brunswick for the last years. By now, the council has heard me and others speak on this issue for a few meetings now, but I hope I am not too redundant. First off, I'd like to thank the city clerk and deputy city clerk and their office staffers for reviewing the signatures submitted by the committee of petitioners for a New Brunswick Community Energy Aggregation Program. Not everyone in New Brunswick has great penmanship, and I hope that the review wasn't as strenuous on the eyes as it was for our staff and volunteers at Food and Water Watch. We are glad to see that the signatures were certified, and the ordinance will now either be considered by the council or again by the voters in November. And thank you to the City of New Brunswick for their press release highlighting Food and Water Watch's role in helping to gather these signatures and reach out to residents on the issue of renewable energy benchmarks and community energy aggregation. Sometimes it gets complicated, but we try our best to explain. Again, we're glad to hear that the City of New Brunswick will be moving forward with a community energy aggregation program for residents and businesses, and we're also keen on including a renewable energy component. We trust in the ordinance that the council will be voting on in the upcoming August 15th meeting because of the renewable energy benchmarks laid out there. A community energy aggregation program with benchmarks to get us to 100% renewable energy would put New Brunswick and Middlesex County at the forefront of fighting climate change at the local level, putting rhetoric to action in the face of a presidential administration, only deepening our dependence on dirty energy. As perhaps the council knows, over 10% of voters in New Brunswick from the 2017 election were required to qualify this ballot ordinance. We knocked on doors in all 6 wards and at least 75% of those precincts. As council members, you represent the city as a whole, but I think it is keen to recognize that perhaps each neighborhood you reside in has had signers of this ordinance petition. We echo the sentiment of Deandra and the residents who spoke at the last council meeting in supporting the ordinance up for the council's consideration, and hope you will each vote yes in passing this truly progressive ordinance. Not just because it could lead to lower utility bills under a competitive bidding system, but because we need to set the example for other municipalities who are looking to be bold in the face of regression and fighting for a sustainable future for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public?
Hi, good evening. My name is Nancy Scalzone, 110 Chester Circle. I'm here to address the shelter situation. Who's in charge of animal control?
The police department manages.
No, they're managing, but who's in charge? Who's the guy's boss?
The police department manages the animal control unit.
So they have nobody that they report to.
Well, they report to the management structure within the police department,
And who's at the top of that structure?
police director.
Okay. So if any of these guys have a problem, they don't go to Mr. Barber or Danny Gallardo, who used to be head of it, they don't go to either one of those guys.
There's 2 individuals who are in that management structure who have day-to-day responsibility over the animal control unit. Their names are Tony Barber and
Right.
Lieutenant Chris Goldeski.
The other thing I want to know is, new state law requires that each municipality assigns a police officer to become their humane law enforcement officer. Has New Brunswick done that yet? That had a May 31st deadline.
I'm not familiar with that regulation.
That's a new state law. Every
That's
municipality.
fine, I'm still not familiar with the regulation, and I will try and get you an answer.
I'd just like to read quickly something because this concerns me very much. This came from the New Jersey Animal Observer, was posted this morning on Facebook. Rumors suggest that one of the state's highest kill shelters in New Jersey, T. Blooming Kennels, may close soon. Unfortunately, no public announcement has been made by Blooming's Kennels. However, the city clerk of New Brunswick stated the city, which currently uses T. Blooming Kennels, will contract with Associated Humane Societies, Newark, on a month-to-month basis until the city makes a permanent decision on its new shelter. Associated Humane Societies, Newark should not take on any new contracts given this shelter's horrific performance. I don't know if you guys knew that they found dead dogs in plastic bags in shopping carts at back doors of this place. And their director has been charged with animal cruelty, however, she's still there for some reason. This organization shouldn't be servicing a city so far away, given the difficulties owners will have reclaiming their lost pets. Finally, T. Blooming's lack of public pleas for help prove why we need to pass Senator Greenstein's Shelter Reform Bill, S-725. If shelters aren't required by law to reach out to rescues before killing animals, chances are many shelters will just kill the animals behind closed doors. I don't understand how this city always finds a way to contract with the highest kill shelters in this state. First you were at Blooming's, then you went to Palmetto, which according to New Brunswick Today, you approved that. You all thought that place was great. Now we know what happened to that. And Blooming's has the hot hat. She's going to close the highest projected kill rate for cats in the state. So I'm just confused as to what your criteria is for picking these shelters. Blooming's didn't advocate for lost pets. If somebody lost their pet, supposedly they had to call somebody to find out if their pet was picked up. And then she placed a fee on on recovering that pet. Now you're going to be taking animals all the way up to Newark. How is, if somebody loses their Pomeranian, they're not going to find that dog all the way up in Newark. We have an animal control department that does not advocate for lost pets. If they find a lost pet, how hard is it to go on a city Facebook page and put a picture of the animal up and say, we found this dog on so-and-so street, is this your dog? It's just, it absolutely baffles me that you always pick the worst place to send these animals. My other question is, when they do pick up an animal, let's say they pick up an animal at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I followed the van down to Blooming's one night at 11 o'clock. Was that animal in the truck all day until he brought it down, until the animal control officer brought it down to Blooming's? Where are the animals kept that are picked up during the day?
I don't know the answer to that specific.
That's crazy.
Can I please try to answer your question? We don't go out of our way to find the worst shelter, as you've alleged.
It seems.
May I finish? Linda Blooming decided to retire August 1st. We tried 18 different shelters in the state to take on our business. We've been doing that for the last 4 or 5 months. No one is interested in our business. Everyone is filled to the brim already. The only one interested in doing business with us or had the capacity to take our animals is the Associated Humane Association or Society out of Newark. We tried the Tinton Falls branch, they were full. We tried they had a second branch, the city escapes me. The Newark branch did have some bad press, there's no question about that. Ms. Scalzone is correct, but they've been working on a conditional permit. They're being overseen by Newark's Department of Health and Community Wellness, as well as the State Department of Health. The State Department of Health says corrective action for several deficiencies previously reported have been observed to date and implemented, including the hiring of a full-time veterinarian and a full-time staff member designated to ensure that animals are fed and provided water accordingly. Our police department went up there twice unannounced and inspected the facility. They highly recommended that we, on a month-to-month basis, contract with Associated. We're going to put the matter out to bid again in the fall, and we're going to hope for qualified, humane kennel services to respond to that. Quite frankly, without Linda Blooming's facility, there was no other place to turn to. And based on the advice I got from the police department, the problems in the Newark location have been corrected or are in the process of being corrected.
If you're not a member of the rescue community, and you really, if you don't keep up on stuff like a lot of us do, and the thing about the veterinarian on staff, my rescue just opened up a brand new adoption center in Middletown. Every place that operates as a type of a shelter has to do that. So that's nothing that's so exclusive for Newark. And also the other rumor is that Linda Blooming sold this property to the county. Does anybody know that?
No.
Well, if that is true, I think it would behoove you as the city to go to your colleagues at the freeholders. And there's 2 buildings in Middlesex County, Helmetta and now Linda Blooming's place. Let's get a shelter for Middlesex County.
I could not agree with you more. We have advocated for a county shelter. They want nothing to do with it. I would very much love for them to provide a shelter for every town in Middlesex to be able to contract with. That would save us a lot of headaches and grief. But the other thing you should know is the owner of a lost pet does not go to Newark to recover the animal. Our animal control officer goes to Newark and brings the animal back here to the owner.
Well, but then how, so the people, whoever has to call the city first to find out if their animal has been.
Of course.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Anybody else from the public?
Good evening, Matt Smith, 123 Livingston Avenue. I just wanted to start with a question about the petition about the renewable energy program, the community energy aggregation program. Was that presented to the council this evening?
It was certified.
Certified?
Yeah.
Okay. And that counts as a first reading? Is
Yes.
that right? Okay. And the reading of the ordinance was the same, it's the same ordinance that was circulated by the committee and delivered as a petition initiative to the city?
Yes.
It's matched, okay. Well, thank you for your work to verify that and to pass it on to the second hearing. Obviously, in 2018, it's, time for us to look to the future and what we're leaving behind as a legacy in terms of future generations' ability to access clean water and a clean air and a better environment and better health for all of us here in the city. I actually moved here 6 years ago in part because of initiatives like that, because the city has been doing things to make it more walkable, make it more environmentally friendly, having things like the George Street Co-op and the university here make it appealing to people of my generation and anyone really who's concerned about these issues. So yeah, thanks for your work, and I look forward to the public hearing on August 15th.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Seeing none?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Fleming.
Yes. Oh,